Hi, I'm Johnny and you're watching the Hexy Beast. And on today's episode we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be looking at 10 games that are leaving my collection. Anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? Okay, so this is 10 games that are leaving my collection. First of all, I just want to say, just because they leave in my collection, it doesn't mean I think they're bad games. Although in some cases I do. So anyway, let's just get on with the first one on the list. They're in no particular order. And let's get going. So the first game I have is Techlandia. And this one, it was provided to me as a review copy. It was fun at first, and I do think the writing in the rulebook was quite witty. But I thought that the fact that the art repeated on the cards and stuff, and it just didn't really have any variety after those first couple of plays. So for that reason, I think Techlandia, it just has to leave. It's going to go over here somewhere. And the next one in the pile, there is a pile of 10 of them. So the next one in the pile we have is Ni no Kuni 2 by SFG. I think that although I didn't get on well with this game, I think if you had the right group and you were playing it multiplayer, it could be great fun. But I find that 5-turn limit in it, really, it just didn't help me with my enjoyment. By the time I got anything started, it felt like the game was over. So for me, it just wasn't one of those games that I wanted to keep lying around, even though I absolutely love the theme. It's got some nice minis in it though, so if you like painting them, there you go. So we're going to be moving on to the next game now, and we have Back to the Future Dice Through Time. Although I do like this game, I feel that I have other dice placement games and dice games in my collection that I just like more than it, and it just doesn't get much playtime. So the reason I'm getting rid of this one is actually because I feel that someone else would really enjoy it a lot more than I would. So that's Back to the Future Dice Through Time. And like I said, it's leaving the collection, so it's going to go in the pile over here. And the next one, even though I wanted to love it, I couldn't bring myself to keep it. It's Arkham Horror Final Hour. It's a fun game. It sort of kind of simulates that last hour of a normal Arkham Horror game where all the stuff's kicking off. It is an actual deduction puzzle where you're trying to find out which icons are on the cards in front of you in a tableau. But I just find there's just so much Arkham in my collection right now that this one just doesn't get any playtime. So I feel that someone else would probably enjoy it a lot more than I have been. So we're just going to put that in the pile over there as well. And the next game, even though I bought this recently, this is Sanctum by CGE. Now, I really did enjoy playing it, and I think that the solo integration was fine, but to me, it just feels like it's not going to get much more playtime unless it's with other people. And as I play mainly solo games, I feel this would be better off in the hands of someone else who has a decent game group, who would actually play it and really enjoy it. It's a fun game, but it's not one that's going to be hanging around for me. So, on to the next one in the pile, we have Reykjavik by Uwe Rosenberg. Now, I found this was fun. It's kind of like a mixture of a race game and set collection. It's got that sort of farming motif. I enjoyed it for a while, but it is kind of beat your own score after a while. And I feel that in this game, I kind of made a score that I can't beat, and I've just lost interest. And to be honest, I'd rather play something else by the same designer, which I'm hoping to pick up very soon, and it's going to take its spot on the shelf. So you probably enjoy this, but it wasn't for me. So I'm just going to put that one on the side there. And now we've got one that I actually really like, but it's taking up space. That could be for something else. So this is Cowboy Bebop, and it's the deck building game I reviewed a few months ago, so you can probably check out that review on the channel at some point. It's published by Japanime Games in this country. And like I said, it was a good fun deck building game, but as I play mostly solo, I felt this one was going to shine more as a multiplayer game. So I have plenty of deck building games in my collection. I feel there's plenty of Cowboy Bebop fans out there that would really enjoy this one. So for that reason, it's going in the pile, which is slowly going to topple over and crush me if I'm not too careful. So we're now 6 games through the pile, which means we're on to the last 4 I've got in this little... I got another pile on the floor, so you know. Okay, this is Tiny Towns, and Tiny Towns is actually kind of like a sort of town building game. It's got that sort of, you're trying to basically match the setups on the cards in order to build buildings in your city. Like I said, it's another one of those games that I feel would be much better multiplayer. I played it solo. It's fun for a good 10-15 minute, you know, bash, build little city, have fun, but it kind of felt a bit bingo-y, a bit puzzly, and kind of, it just wasn't that engaging for me. But I feel that someone else could really enjoy it, so it's going on the pile, which is getting precariously tall. Okay, so now we're moving on to the controversial ones. I'm looking down here, I'm afraid. I'm actually genuinely afraid about when I pick this up. It's the reason I didn't do the video yesterday, because I thought people wouldn't believe me when I said it. I am getting rid of Gloomhaven, Jaws the Lion. I know a lot of people think it's a masterpiece. I've never really been able to get on with Gloomhaven outside the digital version, and I feel that's probably why I don't get on with it, is because I got kind of spoiled. I just find all those modifier decks quite fiddly and stuff. I've played about 5 scenarios in this twice, actually. I tried it with the other 2 characters as well. I just couldn't get on with it. But I know a lot of people love it, so I know it's not going to be hard to get rid of. But I think, for me, Gloomhaven is always going to be a video game, so I'm never really going to end up owning one of the physical copies in future. Maybe that'll change. Maybe I'll find a love for it later. But for now, Jaws the Lion is going on top of this stack. And now we're getting on to the final game, which is going to be probably one of the most controversial. And it was one of the ones I actually had a really hard time making this decision about. And that's going to be Eldritch Horror. And although I really do enjoy this game for the times I've played it, and I really did find a lot of fun in it, I just feel that if you look up on my shelf, I've just got too much Arkham. I've got the card game down there, I've got the board game up there, I've got Mansions of Madness up there. This just never gets any playtime, and it's such a great game, and I feel that that's really a shame that I don't play it as much as it deserves. So for that reason, it's gone into the Cull pile, and it's basically right at the top. And now this pile is a little dangerous, actually. Let's have a look. This is actually without Techlandia on the top. So these are the 10 games that I'm going to be getting rid of. Okay, so that was 10 games that I leave in my collection. If you like the look of anything on my shelf, or even some of these things in the piles, or just fancy lightening up your collection to make space for some new games, please feel free to check out the link to Firestorm Games in my description. Also, if you've been enjoying what you've been watching, the channel's just over a year old, so it would really help out if you would smash that subscribe button up there, and check out another one of my videos up here. Anyway, I've been Johnny, you've been watching the Hexy Beast, and most of all, stay hexy everyone!